Good evening, Andrew here from Creative Guitar Studio. And on the last video I put up, there was a comment from Brian Rowland who asked me to talk about how I found my playing style and what led some, of my students to find their playing style as well. And as you can tell, I'm not in the studio right now. I'm at my shop, and I'm going to go for a motorcycle ride after this and just take it easy this evening. For a lot of you out there, you don't probably know that before I got into playing guitar, I was a mechanic and I worked on cars in the beginning. I finished high school and got going on a college, local college for automotive. I got my journeyman's and worked in some different shops, and always had interest in older, hot rod muscle cars and motorcycles, and I pursued that for a while. But then I decided that it just wasn't the fit for me that I needed, and that's why I decided to follow the guitar path. And I had family out in California, and that's why I went over to the Musicians Institute in Hollywood and took the program there, is because it was really easy to do. I had family that was in Los Angeles and made everything real simple to go and do that. But cars and motorcycles and basically anything with an engine in it, airplanes, you name it, that's just been a passion of mine since I was a kid. And I think that that's the most important thing, when you get into trying to figure out what your playing style is and what you're all about. I really thought about this question, and I think that how I found my style, I guess I found it more through life events and, doing things and meeting people and having both good and bad situations happen. And that kind of led me to go forward and start listening to music differently. And as I got older and I heard different forms of music, whether that was jazz or pop jazz, soul music, R&B, funk, even reggae music, and it just kept changing my perspective of what I thought was really interesting and what I wanted to pursue. So my take on all this is to really to almost stop looking for your style through music and education and all the theory and all that stuff. Don't get me wrong, it's important to work on that and have exposure to songs and styles and techniques, and that's important. But I think, for me and for a lot of my students that I've worked with over the years, it's the discovery of style that fits with you, and it usually doesn't happen for a long time. I mean, I didn't find that my style started to click till after I was at least after the age of 40. And, certain kinds of music just started to hit me. And it would be the chords, the melodies, the percussion used, the grooves that were there. They just started to make me feel a certain way. And that music was very drawing to me. It really wanted me to play it, I guess you could say. It's almost like that style that I play now on almost every one of my YouTube videos at the beginning of it on the Creative Guitar Studio channel. That style, it gives me the widest range of emotion. And, you got to find that for yourself. You have to find that intense emotion. And it's going to be through exposure, not only to music, but to events in your life. Things happen, whether that's you find who you think is the love of your life, whoever that girl is, and then maybe you are with them for 2 or 3 years, and then you break up, and you have this intense emotion from that, and you're trying to find an outlet. So maybe music is the outlet, and so that gets, the focus. And so, heartache, joy, tragedy in your life, sometimes even loss, the loss of, can be family, can be even animals that you have for a long time, whether it can be even something simple as a cat that you have maybe for 16, 17 years, or a dog that you have for 20. Well, maybe a dog's not going to live for 20 years, but maybe a dog could live for 15 to 16 years sometimes. And I mean, when an animal like that dies, or a person who you're close to dies, or there's a loss in your life of a person, maybe because of a breakup or whatever it may be. Maybe it's even a business loss. I've had plenty of those situations happen over the years where, I remember working in a office, my first office that I taught guitar lessons out of, and I thought the guy that I was renting from seemed great, seemed like a really nice guy and everything. And then just one day, just after probably a year and a half of working there, he just totally changed in an afternoon. He phoned me on my business line and wanted to borrow $5. And I honestly didn't have the $5. I mean, this is a long time ago. I could barely make my rent, So I didn't have the money. I said, I don't have the money. He said he wanted to borrow $5 to eat lunch or something. So anyway, he just snapped after that. The guy literally went crazy, and I wound up having to move out of that office, and we had a big falling out. And I saw him about 2 years after that, and he was okay. He seemed pleasant enough. I can never really fully understand what happened with that whole situation, but I mean, there's different things that happen in your life, and they kind of strike you in a certain way, and then they cause you to maybe ignite your interest in certain ways of playing guitar that you didn't have before. A certain style of music, maybe it'll give you that direction that, maybe it's anger, maybe it's total joy, maybe it's love, whatever it is, but that seems to keep pushing you in a certain direction. And another thing I think is important, because a lot of my students over the years, they have it's like they're on a search for that style of playing, and they're searching so hard, they think they find it, and they decide that, it's because of some other musician maybe they listen to, that's going to be their style, and they drive towards that and everything. And then a lot of times when you do that, when you really search and you really push yourself to that style, it's not the right one. It's almost like you got to let that style of music find you, and then eventually it will. And then that's what you use to pursue, perfecting that particular style. For me, I played in a lot of different bands over the years, and I played, funk. I played Latin. I played in a reggae band. I did a Caribbean thing for a while that had like a wide array of stuff, and played in soca music, calypso music, stuff. That stuff was popular years ago at our local. We have basically the Lottery Foundation in my city runs casinos. There's 2 big ones. And that stuff was really huge for a while. We used to play a buffet, and the money used to be really good. But they ended a lot of that stuff and just went and opted to play CDs because I guess it was cheaper. So, but I mean, you do all these different experiences. You get gigs, you lose gigs, you have this band, and then that band falls apart, and all these experiences, they cause you, especially with the different forms of music that you play when you're doing this stuff, it causes you to get an interest in a certain way that chords are used, in a certain way melodies are used, and you pursue it. You just keep you keep down that path, and you keep recognizing that, hey, that's the right way to do it, and for you personally. So it's almost like you get an idea of that sound. That's the right sound. That's exactly the right one for me. And you might have played for 30 years or 40 years until you find that sound. But eventually, it just feels effortless to make those melodies and chord changes up. If you find yourself getting kind of too repetitive with it, you can change it up a little bit and try other things and mix and match and get a different idea with maybe. I find for me personally, percussive ideas, are really, kind of a way that springboards my thoughts to, new melodies and new styles of harmonies. So maybe that's going to be a really good way for you to pursue your playing too. Focus initially a lot on what's going on with the percussion side of things. There's a lot of sequencers and a lot of programs even you can get for your computer that are going to play you back different kinds of riffs. And a lot of times that can be really, really helpful. So, in wrapping this video up, I think what I want to say last but not least is don't try to search with a goal in mind of a certain style that you want for sure. Try to let that style come to you where it, from your life experiences, everything just clicks, and then it feels kind of like it's effortless. It's like truly the right one. And if you do that, I guarantee you're going to have the style. It's going to be perfect for the way that you play, but it probably will take a long time. I know for me personally, it took many years before I decided that a certain way of playing was my way and my style. And it was probably from a lot of, experiences in life combined with people introducing different music to me learning that music, and then, finding my way through to decide that, hey, this is the right way for me to be writing and playing music, and it works the best for me. So anyway, I hope this helps you out a little bit. I hope that you think it's interesting. And probably next time I shoot the next video, I'll be back in the music studio. But I figured, I'm in here getting ready to head out tonight and go, boot around on the bike. So I thought I'll just put my camera up on a table and shoot this video for you. So anyway, thanks a lot. I guess I'll catch up with you next time. Bye for now.